10 plausible, compelling reasons why Francis Bacon is an unlikely candidate for the authorship of Shakespeare's works, particularly when compared to Christopher Marlowe. First, stylistic inconsistencies. Bacon's prose versus true, Shakespeare's poetry. Bacon's prose style in works like The Advancement of Learning and Novum Organum is methodical, dense, and scientific, starkly different from the poetic, emotionally resonant, and metaphor-rich style of true Shakespeare's works. Marlowe, on the other hand, shares true Shakespeare's dramatic flair, rich metaphors, and mastery of blank verse, as seen in Dr. Faustus and Tamburlaine. Second, lack of dramatic works. Bacon's surviving works show no evidence of dramatic talent and little interest in theatre, while Marlowe was a celebrated playwright genius with a deep understanding of stagecraft. True. Shakespeare's plays reflect an outstanding theatrical insider's knowledge which Bacon never demonstrated. Third, philosophical and thematic divergences. Bacon's works focus on science, law, and politics, often advocating empirical reasoning and the scientific method. True. Shakespeare's plays explore human emotions, psychology, and moral ambiguities in a way that aligns far better with Marlowe's deeply philosophical and humanistic approach in his own works. Fourth, timeline problems. Bacon was heavily engaged in political and legal work during the period true Shakespeare's plays were being written. His busy schedule as a lawyer, courtier, and later Lord Chancellor leaves little room for him to secretly write 37 plays and 154 sonnets. Marlowe, if alive post-1593, would have been in exile, a situation much more conducive to clandestine literary activity under pseudonyms. Fifth, Bacon's political and courtly aspirations. Bacon was ambitious and sought recognition in the royal court. If he had written true Shakespeare's plays, it's unlikely he would have allowed them to be attributed to a common actor, given the stigma surrounding the theatre. Marlowe, by strong contrast, had a history of using multiple pseudonyms and benefited from anonymity, especially needed to hide his identity after faking his death. Sixth, no evidence of theatrical connections. Bacon had no well-documented relationships with actors, theatre companies, or playwrights of the time. Marlowe was intimately connected to the theatrical world, having worked with figures like Edward Alleyn and the Admiral's Men. Seventh, no dramatic legacy. There are no records of Bacon writing anything for the stage or collaborating with playwrights. Marlowe's existing plays, on the other hand, cement his reputation as one of the greatest dramatists of his era. His works are illogically identical with true Shakespeare in terms of both style and themes. Eighth, authorship theories emerged later. The Baconian theory of Shakespearean authorship was first proposed in the mid-19th century, centuries after his death, based on speculative cryptographic evidence. No contemporary sources suggest Bacon was involved in drama. Marlowe's candidacy is grounded in his established career as a playwright and poet genius, his mysterious death in 1593, and the possibility of him writing under pseudonyms. Ninth, Marlowe's shared themes and language. The thematic overlaps between Marlowe's works and true Shakespeare's, such as power struggles, forbidden love, and questions of identity, are much stronger than any parallels with Bacon's writings. Marlowe's use of blank verse and rhetorical devices far more closely resembles Shakespeare's, whereas Bacon's style is markedly different. 10th, Marlowe's potential motive for anonymity. If Marlowe faked his death, he would have had a compelling motive to publish works under a pseudonym to evade authorities. Bacon had no such need for anonymity and no apparent reason to conceal his authorship. Writing plays under a pseudonym would have conflicted with his public image as a statesman and philosopher. Conclusion. While Bacon was a brilliant intellectual, his background, writing style, and lack of theatrical experience make him an unlikely true author of Shakespeare's works. In contrast, Christopher Marlowe's proven dramatic talent, thematic and stylistic similarities to true Shakespeare, and plausible motive for pseudonymous authorship present a far stronger case.